Let's talk about the unspoken rules of power. The ones that people know but almost never say out loud. We're about to pull back the curtain on 7 of them.
You know, if you operate on the idea that the world is this fair place where the good guys always win in the end, well, I hate to be the one to tell you, but you're playing a totally different game than everybody else. The real world, it runs on a completely hidden set of rules.
For 500 years, the secrets to this game were basically laid out in a single, infamous book. Think of it as a manual for power, a playbook so effective it literally changed how the world was run.
Yeah, this book, written by Niccolo Machiavelli, was seen as so dangerous that it was publicly burned. But here's the crazy part. The very same kings and popes who condemned it in public were the ones reading it in secret by candlelight, using its lessons to hold on to their power. So today, we're going to unlock its most powerful ideas.
First things first, the real game of power isn't fought on a battlefield or in a boardroom. Nope. It's fought right inside the minds of other people. How you're perceived, that is everything. And that brings us to our first set of rules.
Let's kick things off with rule number 1.
Okay, I know that sounds pretty harsh, but think about it. People don't have a window into your soul. They can't see your true intentions. All they can judge is what they see, your actions and your reputation. Your public image is a tool, it's armor, and what people believe you are is way more powerful than what you actually are. So you have to ask yourself, are you in control of your image, or are you just letting other people define it for you? Okay, now that we understand that winning is the ultimate goal, let's look at a pretty sneaky tactic to help you get there. This is rule number 6. Why on earth would you ever do that? It sounds completely backward, right? But here's the genius of it. When people see you as a threat, they're on high alert. They watch every move you make. But when they think you're weak, when they underestimate you, they get sloppy, they get arrogant. And that is the exact moment you have the ultimate advantage. It's like a chess game where you let your opponent think they've got you trapped right before you calmly say, checkmate. This brings us right to rule number 2, which tackles that timeless question. And Machiavelli's answer? It's crystal clear. Love is nice, but it's unreliable. It depends on other people feeling grateful. And, well, you can't count on that. Fear, on the other hand, fear is based on the threat of consequence, and that is something you control. Think about that boss everyone likes, the one who wants to be friends. Deadlines slip, people take advantage. Now, think of the boss who is respected, maybe a little feared. Things just get done. This isn't about being a monster. It's about understanding that respect that's built on a little bit of fear is a whole lot more dependable than affection.
All right, so once you get a handle on perception, the next battlefield is your relationships. This is where things get really tricky. Navigating who's with you, who's against you, and how to protect yourself.
Man, that is a cold, hard truth, isn't it? But it perfectly sets the stage for rule number 3, which is a tough pill to swallow. Trust no one. Look, you expect an enemy to attack you, right? So you're ready for it. But a friend knows all your weaknesses. A betrayal from them comes when your guard is completely down, and it's 1,000 times more devastating.
I mean, just look at one of the most famous stories in all of history. You have Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in Rome. He's basically untouchable by any enemy army.
So who brought him down? It wasn't a rival general. It was his own senators, the men he considered his allies, his friends, the very people he had promoted and placed his trust in. The deadliest threat was already inside his circle. And his supposed last words, whispered to his protege Brutus, just capture that shock perfectly. Now, this doesn't mean you have to live like a hermit. It just means that trust is something that has to be earned over and over again.
You never, ever give anyone the keys to your own destruction.
So just like blind trust can be a fatal flaw, so can being, well, too nice. And this brings us to rule number 4. Excessive goodness is a weakness. And what's fascinating is how this plays out in real life. Just look at this comparison here. The person who always says yes, they get used. Their help isn't appreciated, it's just expected. They're forgotten as soon as the work is done. But the person who sometimes says no, their time is seen as valuable. Their yes suddenly has weight. It means something, and they earn genuine respect, not resentment. Goodness should be a tool that you use strategically, not a default setting that leaves you vulnerable.
And this leads us to our final forbidden rule. Rule number 7, and it might be the most counterintuitive piece of advice in the whole playbook. Just like Michael Corleone said in The Godfather, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Why? It's simple, really. If your enemy is miles away, you have no clue what they're plotting. But if they're right there, in your circle, you can watch them, you can learn their strategy, and you can shut down any threat before it even gets off the ground.
So we've covered perception, we've covered alliances, but all of these rules are really just pointing towards one thing, one single objective, which brings us to our next big idea, the rules of victory. This right here is the heart of rule number 5, and it is absolutely ruthless. Winning is all that matters. I mean, think about it. Do we have long discussions about the noble intentions of the people who lost the war? No. We study the brilliant tactics of the winners. And why is that? Because the winners, they're the ones who get to write the history books.
Ah, yes, Machiavelli's most infamous line. If you win, no matter how you did it, your actions will eventually be excused or maybe even called brilliant. Think of someone like Napoleon. He left a trail of destruction across Europe, but he's remembered as a strategic genius. If you lose, even if you had the purest motives in the world, you're just a failure. The point is to stay laser-focused on the outcome.
So, let's put all the pieces together. The point of learning all this isn't to get a degree in being a horrible person. It's to get a dose of reality. It's a guide to seeing the world for what it is, not what we wish it was. It's about protecting yourself by simply refusing to be naive. All right, let's do a quick recap of the 7 forbidden rules we've just unpacked. Number 1, control how you're seen. It's better to seem good than to be good. 2, fear is a more reliable tool than love. 3, trust no one completely and be extra careful with friends. 4, remember that being too good, too available is actually a weakness. 5, winning is everything because winners write the story. 6, lull your rivals into a false sense of security by appearing weak when you're actually strong. And finally, 7, keep your enemies even closer than your friends so you always know their next move.
So there you have it. The curtain's been pulled back. You now see the hidden machinery of power that's been running the world for centuries. And the thing is, this game is being played all around you, every single day, whether you like it or not. So the only real question left is this. Now that you know the rules, how are you going to play?